Foreign exchange markets. A foreign exchange market is a market in which currencies are bought and sold. It is to be distinguished from a financial market where currencies are borrowed and lent. General futures. Foreign exchange market is a OTC, over-the-counter, market as there is no physical place where the participants meet to execute their deals. It is a more an informal arrangement among the banks and brokers operating in a financing center purchasing and selling currencies connected to each other by communication like telex, telephone, and a satellite communication network SWIFT. The term foreign exchanges market is used to offer to the wholesale and a segment of the market. Whereas dealings take place among the bank, the retail segment refers to the dealings take place between banks and their communication. The retail segment is situated at a large number of places. They can be considered not as foreign exchanges market. The leading foreign exchange market in India is Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, and Delhi, a center accounting for bulk of the exchange dealings in India. The policy of the Reserve Bank has been to decentralize exchanges operation and develop broader-based exchange market. As a result, the efforts of Reserve Bank, Cochin, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, and Goa have emerged as new center of foreign exchange market. Size of the market. Foreign exchange market is the largest financial market with a daily turnover of over USD 2 trillion. Foreign exchange markets were primarily developed to facilitate settle of debts arising out of international trade. But these markets have developed on their own so much so that a turnover of about 3 days in the foreign exchange market is equivalent to magnitude of world trade in goods and services. The largest foreign exchange market is London, followed by New York, Tokyo, Zurich, and Frankfurt. The businesses in foreign exchange markets in India has shown had a steady increase in the volume of foreign trade of the country, improvement in the communication system, and greater access to the international exchange market. Still, the volume transaction in these markets amounting to about USD 2 billion per day does not compete favorably with any well-developed foreign exchange market of international repute. The reasons are not far to seek. Rupee is not an internationally traded currency and is not in a great demand. Much of the external trade of the country is designated in leading currencies of the world, viz. US dollar, pound sterling, euro, Japanese yen, and Swiss franc. Incidentally, these are the currencies that are traded actively in the foreign exchange market in India. 24 hours market. The markets are situated throughout the different time zones of the globe in such a way that when one market is closing, the other is beginning its operation. Thus, at any point of time, one market or the other is open. Therefore, it is stated that the foreign exchange market is functioning throughout 24 hours of the day. However, a specific market will function only during the business hour. Some of the banks having international network and having centralized control of funds management may keep their foreign exchange department in the center often throughout to keep up with developments at other centers during their normal working hours in India. The market is open for the time that banks are open for their regular banking business. No transactions take place on efficiency. Developments in communication had largely contributed to the efficiency of the market. The participants keep abreast of current happening by access to such services like Dow Jones, Telerate, and Tutor. Any significant development in any market is almost instantaneously received by the other market situated at far-off place and thus has global impact. This makes the foreign exchange market very efficient as if the functioning under one roof. Currencies traded. In most markets, US dollar is the vehicle currency, bills, the currency used to denominate in international transactions. This is despite the fact that with currencies like euro and yen gaining larger share, the share of US dollar in the total turnover is shrinking. Physical markets. In a few centers like Paris and Brussels, foreign exchange business take place at a fixed places such as the local stock exchange building. At these physical markets, the banks meet and in the presence of the representative of the central bank and on the base of bargains fixed rates for a number of major currencies. This practice is called fixing. The rates thus fixed used to execute customer order previously placed with the banks. An advantage claim for this procedure is that exchange rate for commercial transaction will be market determined, not influenced by any bank. However, it is observed that the large banks attending such meeting with large commercial older bank up tend to influence the rates. Participants. The participants in the foreign exchange market comprise 1. Corporate, 2. Commercial bank, 3. Exchange brokers, 4. Central banks. Corporates. The business houses, international investor, and multinational corporation may operate in the market to meet their genuine trade or invest requirement. They may also buy or sell currencies with a view to speculate or trade currencies to extend permit by the exchange control regulation. They operate by placing orders with the commercial banks. The deals between banks and their clients for the retail segment of foreign exchange market. In India, the foreign exchange market possession, retention, or foreign currency regulation 2000 permits relation by residents of foreign exchange currency at USD 2000. Foreign currency managed realization, repatriation, and surrender of foreign exchange. Regulation 2000 requires a resident in the India who receives foreign exchange to surrender it to an authorized dealer within 7 days of receipt in case of receipt by way of remuneration. Settlement of lawful obligations, income on assets held abroad, inheritance settlement, or give in. Within 90 days in all other cases. Any person who acquires foreign exchange but could not use it for the purpose, any other permitted purpose, is required to surrender the unutilized foreign exchange to authorized dealers within 60 days from the date of acquisition. In case the foreign exchange was acquired for travel abroad, the unspent foreign exchange should be surrendered within 90 days from the date of return to India when the foreign exchange is in the form of foreign currency. Notes and coins within 180 days in case of travel sequence. Similarity. If a resident required foreign exchange for an approved purpose, he should obtain from an authorized dealer. Commercial banks are the major players in the market. They buy and sell currencies for their clients. They may also operate on their own. When a bank enters a market to correct excess or sale or forecast position in a foreign currency arising from its various deals with its consumers, it is said to do a covered operation. Such transactions constitute hardly 58% of the total transaction done by a large bank. A major portion of the volume is accounted by trading in currencies indulged by the bank to gain from exchange movements. For transactions involving large volumes, banks may deal directly among themselves. For smaller transactions, the intermediation of foreign exchange brokers may be wrought. Exchange brokers facilitate deal between banks. In the absence of exchange broker, bank
have to contact each other for quotes. If there are also banks at a center for obtaining the best quote for a single currency, a dealer may have to contact 149 banks. Exchange broker ensure that the most favorable quotation is obtained and at low cost in terms of time and money. The bank may leave with the broker the limit up to which and the rate at which is wishes to buy or sell the foreign currencies concerned. From the intent. From the other banks, the broker will be able to match the requirements of both. The name of the counterparties are revealed to the banks only when the deal is acceptable to them. Till then, anonymity is maintained. Exchange brokers tend to specialize in certain exotic currencies, but they also handle all major currencies. In India, banks may deal directly or through recognized exchange brokers. Accredited exchange brokers are permitted to contract exchange business on behalf of authorized dealers in foreign exchange only upon the understanding that they will conform that the rates, rules, and conditions laid down by the FIDI. All contracts must bear the clause, subject to the rules and regulations of the Foreign Exchanges Dealer Association of India. Central bank may intervene in the market to influence the exchange rate and change it from the would result only from private supplies and demands. The central bank may transact in the market on its for the above purpose, or it may so on behalf of the government when it buys or sells bonds, settle other transactions which may involve foreign exchange payments and receipts. In India, authorized dealers have a recourse to Reserve Bank to sell by US dollars to the extent the latter is prepared to transact in the currency at the given point of the time. Reserve Bank will not ordinarily buy and sell any other currency from two authorized dealers. The contract can be entered into on any working day of the dealing room or Reserve Bank. No transaction is entered into on Saturday. The value date for spot as well as forward delivery should be in conformity with the national and international practice in this regard. Reserve Bank of India does not enter in the market in the ordinary course, where the exchanges rates are moving in a detrimental way due to speculative forces. The Reserve Bank may intervene in the market either directly or through the States Bank of India.
Settlement of transaction. Foreign exchange markets make extensive use of the latest developments in telecommunications for transmitting as well as settling foreign exchange transactions.
Banks use the exclusive network SWIFT to communicate, message, and settle transactions at electronic clearing houses such as CHIPS at New York. SWIFT. SWIFT is an acronym for Society for Worldwide Interbank in Europe and North America and registered as a cooperative society in Brussels and Belgium. It is a communications network for international financial market transactions, linking effectively more than 25,000 financial institutions throughout the world who had been allotted banks in identify codes. The messages are transmitted from country to country via central interconnected operating centers located in Brussels, Amsterdam, Culpeper, Virginia. The member countries are connected to the center through regional process for in each country. The local banks in each country reach the regional processors through the national networks. The SWIFT system enables the member banks to transact among themselves quickly international payments, statements, other messages connected with the international banking. Transmissions of messages take place within seconds, and therefore this method is economical as well as time-saving. Selected banks in India have become members of SWIFT, provides following advantage for the local banking community. Number 1. Provides a reliable, time-test method of sending and receiving messages from a vast number of banks in a large number of locations around the world. Number 2. Reliability and accuracy is further enhanced by the built-in authentication qualities, which has only be exchanged with each counterparty before they can be activate or further communications. Number 3. Message relay is instantaneously enabling the counterpart to respond immediately if not prevented by time differences. Number 4. Access is available to a vast number of banks globally for launching new cross-border initiatives. Number 5. Since communication in SWIFT is to be done using structured formats for various types of banking transactions, the matter to be conveyed will be very clear and there will not be any ambiguity of any sort of the reserved to revert for clarifications.
This is mainly because the formats are used all over the world on a standardized basis for conducting all types of banking transactions.
This makes the responses and execution very efficient at receiving banks and thereby contributing immensely to quality
Service being provided to the consumers of both banks, sending and receiving.
Number 6. Usage of SWIFT structures formats for message transmission to counterparties will entail the generation of local banks' internal record using at least minimum level of automation. This will accelerate the local banks' internal automation activities since the maximum utilization of SWIFT and significant intern automation level is required. CHIPS. CHIPS stand for Clearinghouse Interbank Payment System. It is an electronic payment system owned by 12 private commercial banks constituting the New York Clearinghouse Association. A CHIP began its operation in 1971 and grown to be the world's largest payment system. Foreign exchange in euro, dollar transactions are settled through CHIPS. It provides the mechanism for settlement every day of payment and receipt of numerous dollar transactions among member banks at New York without the need for physical exchange of sequence funds for each such transaction. The functioning of CHIPS arrangement is explained below with a hypothetical transaction. Bank of India maintaining a dollar account with Amex Bank, New York, sells USD 1 million to Canara Bank. Maintaining dollar account with Citibank. Number 1. Bank of India intimate Amex Bank devotes the account of banks through SWIFT to debit its account and transferred USD 1 million to Citibank for credit current account of Canara Bank. Number 2. Amex Bank debits the account of Bank of India with USD 1 million and sent the equivalent of electronic cheques to CHIPS for crediting the account of Citibank. The transfer is effected the same day. Number 3. Numerous such transactions are reported to CHIPS by member banks and transferred effective at CHIPS. By about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the net possession of each member is arrived at funds made available at Feedwire for use by the bank concerned by 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number 4. Citibank, which received the credit, estimate Canara Bank's through SWIFT. It may be noted that settlement of transaction in the New York foreign exchange market takes place in two stages. First, clearance at chips and arriving at net position for each bank. Second, transfer of Fed funds for the net position. The real balances are held by banks only with Federal Reserve's Bank, Fed funds, and the transaction is complete only when Fed funds are transferred. Chips help in expediting the reconciliation and reducing the number of entries that pass through Fed wires. CHOPS is an arrangement similar to CHIPS that exists in London. CHOPS stands for Clearing House Automated Payment System. FedWire. The transaction at New York Foreign Exchange Market ultimately gets settled through FedWire. It is a communication network that links the computers of about 7,000 banks to the computers of Federal Reserve banks. The FedWire funds transfer system operated by the Federal Reserve Bank are used primarily for domestic payments, bank-to-bank, and third-party transfers such as interbank, overnight fund sale. For cases and settlement transactions, corporate payments can also be made, but they should be affect through banks. Fed guarantees settled on all payments sent to receiver even if the sender fails. Transactions in interbank markets. The exchange rates quoted by bank to their customer are based on the rates prevalent in the interbank market. The big banks in the market are known as market makers as they are willing to buy or sell foreign currencies at the rates quoted by them, up to any extent. Depending buy or sell foreign currencies at the rates quoted by them up to any extent. Depending upon resources, a bank may be market maker in one or four major currencies. When a banker approaches the market maker, it would not reveal its intention to buy or sell currency. This is done in order to get a fair price from the market maker.
CHOPS is an arrangement similar to CHIPS that exists in London. CHOPS stand for Clearing House Automated Payment System. FedWire. The transactions at New York Foreign Exchange Market ultimately get settled through FedWire. It is a communication network that links the computers of about 7,000 banks to the computers of Federal Reserve banks. The FedWire funds transfer system operated by the Federal Reserve Bank are used primarily for the domestic payments, bank-to-bank, and third-party transfers such as interbank, overnight funds, sales and purchases, and settlement transactions. Corporate payments can also be made, but they should be effected through banks. Fed guarantees settlement on all payments sent to receivers even if the sender fails. Transactions in interbank markets. The exchange rates quoted by banks to their customer are based on the rates prevalent in the interbank market. The big banks in the market are known as market makers as they are willing to buy or sell foreign currencies at the rates quoted by them up to any extent. Depending buy or sell currencies at the rates quoted by them up to any extent. Depending upon its resources, a bank may be a market maker in one of few major currencies. When a banker approaches the market maker, it would not reveal its intention to buy or sell the currency. This is done in order to get a fair price from the market maker. Two-way quotations. Typically, the quotation in the interbank market is two-way quotation. It means the rate quoted by the market maker will indicate two prices, one at which is willing to buy the foreign currency and the other at which it is willing to sell the foreign currency. For example, Mumbai Bank may quote its rate for US dollar as under USD 1 or as 48.1525-1650. More than often the rate would be quoted as 1525-1650 since the players Players in the market are expected to know the bid number, i.e. RS 48 point in the given quotation. One rate is RS point 48.1525 per dollar and the other rate is RS 48.1650 per dollar. By quotation, it will be obvious that the quoting bank will be willing to buy dollars at RS 48.1525 and sell dollars at RS 48.1650. If $1 bought and sold, the bank makes a gross profit or RS 0.0125. In a foreign exchange quotation, the foreign currency is the commodity that is being bought and sold. The exchange quotation, which gives the price for the foreign currency in terms of domestic currency, is known as direct quotation. In a direct quotation, the quoting bank will apply the rule, buy low, sell high. In direct quotation, there is another way of quoting in the foreign exchange market. The Mumbai Bank quotes the rate for dollar as RS 100 USD 2.07620767. This type of quotation, which gives the quantity of foreign currency per unit of domestic currency, is known as indirect quotation. In this case, the quoting bank will receive US 2.0767 per RS 100 while buying dollars and give away USD 2.0762 per RS 100 while selling dollars. In other words, he will apply the rule buy high, sell low. The buying rates is also known as the bid rate and selling rates as the offer rate. The difference between these rates is the gross profit for the bank and is known as the spread, spot and forward transaction. The transaction in the interbank make place for settlement. A. On the same day. B. 2 days later. C. Some day later. C. After a month, where the agreement to buy and sell is agreed upon and execute on the same date. The transaction is known as cash or ready transact. It also known as value today. The transaction where the exchange of currencies takes place 2 days after the date of contract is known as the spot transaction. For instance, if the contract is made on Monday, the delivery should take place on Wednesday. If Wednesday is holiday, the delivery will take place on the next day, Thursday. Rupee payment is also made on the same day the foreign currency is received. The transaction in which the exchange of currencies take place at a specified future date subsequent to the spot date is known as a forward transaction. The forward transaction can be for delivered 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. A forward contract for delivery 1 month means the exchange of currencies will take place after 1 month from the date of contract. A forward contract for delivery 2 months means the exchange of currencies will take place after 2 months and soon. Forward margin, swap points, forward rate may be the same as the spot rate for the currency. Then it is said to be at par with the spot rate, but this rarely happens. More often the forward rates for a currency may be cost, liar or cheaper than its spot rate. The rate for a currency may be costlier or cheaper than its spot rate. The difference between the forward rate and the spot rate is known as the forward margin or swap points. The forward margin may be either at premium or at discount. If the forward margin is at premium, the foreign correct will be costlier under forward rate than under the spot rate. If the forward margin is at discount, the foreign currency will be cheaper for forward delivery than for spot delivery. Under directly quotation, premium is added to spot rate to arrive at the forward rate. This is done for both purchase and sales transaction. Discount is deducted from the spot rate to arrive at the forward rate. Interpretation of interbank quotations. The market quotation for a coin consists of the spot rate and the forward margin. The outright forward rate has to be calculated by loading the forward margin into the spot rate. For instance, US dollar is quoted as under in the interbank market on 25th January as on the spot USD 1 RS 4,000 or 4,200. Spot February 2,000, 2,100. Spot March 3,500, 3,600. The following points should be noted in interpreting the above quotation. Number 1. The first statement is the spot rate for the quoting bank buying rate is Rs 48.4,000 and selling rate is Rs 48,4,200. Number 2. The second and third statement are forward margin for forward delivery during the months of February, spot March respectively. Spot February rate is valid for delivery in February. Spot March rate is valid for delivery and March. Number 3. The margin expressed in points, i.e. 0.0001 of the currency. Therefore, the forward margin for February is 20 pies and 21 pies. Number 4. The first rate in the spot quotation is for buying and second for selling the foreign currency. Correspondingly, in the forward margin, the first rate relates to buying and the second to selling. Taking spot February as an example, the margin of 20 pies is for case and 21 pies is for sale of foreign currency. Number 5. Where the forward margin for a month is given in ascending order as in the quotation above, it indicates that the forward currency is at premium. The outright forward rates arrive at by adding the forward margin to the spot rate.